Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, if I were to ask you, where are you from? You may think, well, I was born in this place, and I spent most of my life in this other place, and I live in Colorado Springs, and there may be various answers to that question. I get asked, where are you from? Probably 5 times a week. And then they say, no, wait. Scotland. England. Wales. Germany. New Zealand. Australia. Canada. And Russia. But most of the time it's Scotland, right? Scotland. They say, no, it's Ireland. And they say 2 things. They say, that was my second guess. And then they say something that I haven't quite worked out yet, which is, I'm Irish too. With the regular times I have been asked that question, I decided to reflect on it a little bit. And the result was interesting to me. It was not, where are you from, but more so, who are you from? I've lived in England, I've lived in India, and I've lived in Ireland before coming to Colorado Springs. As I think of those places that I've been, it's not really where they were from, or where I was from, but more so the people there. The people made it what it was for me. As I think of England, I think of Alex Ritchie. Alex Ritchie was from Glasgow in Scotland. You'd probably think he talked in an Irish accent. Alex was totally different to me. Alex was 6'6" tall, long, curly, dark hair, strikingly handsome, and the most fun person I'd ever met in my life. In my 3 years of university while I went to Manchester, Alex and I spent a lot of time together. Alex was different to me in many ways. He had the same core values that I had, the same beliefs that I had, but apart from that, he was different in lots of ways, but I'll tell you about one of them. And maybe it's a Glasgow thing, but people in Scotland, and particularly Alex, managed to use swear words in a way that I had never considered before. If I thought some of the words that Alex said, I'd be spanked at home. He was able to bring swear words into everyday language in a way that I had never considered before. Alex had a tongue that was as dark as coal, but his heart was as white as snow. And the color was somewhere in between. And for me, it was, when I think of Alex, when I think of England, I think of looking at somebody's heart and not just the outward appearance. When I think of India, I think of Jack Dyer, Papa Jack as he was called. I was working in a school. Jack was 70 years old, and he was in the middle of a hospital build. He was in charge of building a hospital. We lived an hour away from the local town. We were up at about, same as here, about 8,000 feet. The town was down, and so the road was 15 miles and took about an hour to drive that time. So Jack would have to go down to the town. Jack drove a car, one of the few people in the area who did drive a car. And so Jack needed to drive down sometimes. I needed to go down to the town for the schools to get some supplies. And so Jack would drive me. Well, I soon realized that 2 things. Jack was the worst driver I'd ever been sitting beside, and Jack was not afraid to die. He was 70. He'd lived his life. He really felt that he'd lived his life. He also had a core value, which was, I know where I'm going, so I don't care. And every time we drove down that road, it was a death wish that Jack Dyer had, and I was just riding on the coattails of. I learned many things from Jack. But I learned that when you are true to what you believe in, and you believe in something very strongly, you don't have anything to fear. I am from Ireland. And one of my best friends, Phil Hart, as I grew up with Phil, he and I spent many, many years together dreaming about what we were going to do. One of the things that Phil hoped to do one day was to play the guitar. He was a wonderful guitar player, and he wanted to make a living playing the guitar. He went to university, taught geography in an elite school that C.S. Lewis went to. But I got a phone call one day from Phil and said, David, I need to meet with you. And we got together, and he said, I need you to help me to write my letter to the school saying that I'm going to resign because I want to pursue the dream of music. Phil had a wife, 2 children, 1 on the way, and yet he decided that he was going to pursue that dream. He did. I would love to tell you that he was successful in it, that he made lots of money, that he has done everything that he hoped he would do. That's not the case. But 12 years later, he's still pursuing that dream. When I think of Ireland, I think of pursuing your dream. Now, where are you from? You may think of lots of things now. You may even think of who you are from. When I'm asked where I'm from, I want people to feel good. So I say, Scotland. Mr. Clifton.